It seems Phil Spencer may have made some big misses here. In the past, a lot of people are viewing this story as negative, and it is kind of in the respect that, dang, can you imagine a world where Xbox made some of these decisions that they missed out on? Made some of these games exclusive that they had an opportunity to make exclusive. But overall, I think what is positive here is that Phil Spencer's just super open about it. I think it's really interesting. It's interesting content to see, what the thought process is here, what these opportunities were in the past. And so I don't view that as a negative at all. I think a lot of people are trying to spin this in a way that hammers Phil Spencer. And while there are definite misses for sure, I think that him being so open about it is a net positive, actually. And it'll be interesting to see, is there anything like this that they don't miss out on in the future? I mean, under Phil Spencer, they've acquired Bethesda. They've acquired Activision Blizzard. Those are absolutely two ginormous gets there. So when you talk about Phil Spencer missing, for instance, Guitar Hero, well, now they own Guitar Hero. So, yeah, but at the time, looking back, what would the world be like had they not missed out on some of these? It would be very interesting. But let's go over that news story. We're then going to talk about some comments made by the Stalker devs where the Xbox Series S was thrown under the bus a little bit. He misspoke. At least he came out and said he misspoke, where he originally talked about how low the FPS was going to be for the frame rate was going to be for Stalker 2 on the Series S. He has corrected himself since then. And then the last thing I want to do here is just take a look at what the top paid games are at the moment on Xbox. I think there's some things to learn from there, and it's just fun to look at what are Xbox gamers playing at the moment. Before we jump into it, though, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to this channel. My name is X1 the Gamer. We drop videos like this all the time right here. This week's a short week because here in the U.S., it was Labor Day. So I hope everybody had a great Labor Day weekend. Let's jump into it. First story here is over at The Gamer. Phil Spencer passed on making Destiny and Guitar Hero exclusives. Crazy. Phil Spencer has revealed in a recent interview, I can't speak there, that Xbox passed on making the first Destiny game a first-party exclusive, which he said while noting that he's made some of the, quote, some of the worst game choice decisions. It's undeniable that Xbox has had some great exclusive under its belt, from Halo, Gears of War to Forza and Fable, none of which have crossed over to PlayStation and Nintendo just yet. That being said, Xbox lineup of first-party games is certainly a lot weaker than its competition, especially now that Hi-Fi Rush and Indiana Jones show that it seems to be moving away from caring about exclusives. This is just not correct. This is not correct. First of all, let me correct this from The Gamer. Again, it shows either ignorance on the part of the writers over at The Gamer or a biased slant here. Xbox has never said that it doesn't care about exclusives. It has never indicated that it doesn't care about exclusives. This sentence right here is thegamer.com putting its own spin, viewing it through its own lens. This is its own interpretations. They're assuming that Xbox doesn't care about exclusives. In fact, Xbox, I would argue, cares more about exclusives today than ever before. That's why Indiana Jones is a timed exclusive. It's a strategy for Game Pass, guys. That's it. How many times do we have to go over this? But that's incorrect. Of course they care about exclusives. Xbox has never said that they're getting away from exclusives. They said that they're taking a strategic look at what games they will retain as exclusives, what games will become timed exclusives, and what games won't be exclusives at all. That's far cry from saying, hey, we don't care about exclusives anymore. In fact, can you bring up the quote in which they've said that? You can't. Let's reread this sentence. That being said, Xbox lineup of first-party games is certainly a lot weaker than its competition, especially now that Hi-Fi Rush and Indiana Jones show that it seems to moving away from caring about exclusives. No, it doesn't seem that way at all. That's your interpretation of it, but maybe we shouldn't use The Gamer as a source anymore. While you might think that it's just the luck of the draw that Xbox doesn't have as many big first-party titles under belt, it turns out that the Big X has actually passed on signing quite a lot of exclusive games over the past few generations, something which Phil Spencer himself pointed out in a recent interview. Phil Spencer recently took part in a panel at PAX West, which, by the way, shout out to PAX West. I hear it was fantastic. I hear the panels there were really, really good. Shout out to our main man in the community, Reactor League, who has been there and has been reporting back. I've got to go one of these years. It seems like a great experience. Phil Spencer recently took part in a panel at PAX West called Story Time, where he chatted about his experience in the gaming industry up to that point. At one point during the panel, Spencer opens up about some of the games that he has passed on while at Xbox, revealing that Bungie originally pitched Destiny to Microsoft. As we all know, it eventually went to Activision, while Bungie eventually ended up with PlayStation. That's a poorly worded sentence, the gamer. Basically, Destiny 1 was pitched to Xbox as an exclusive. It makes sense since they were the guys, Bungie was the guys behind Halo. They had the close relationship. In fairness, at the time, nobody knew that Destiny would be what it was today, but that's your job to have foresight and see like, yeah, I think this could be something. But nobody knew. In fact, go back and look at the reviews of the first Destiny, and a lot of people, they got terrible reviews. Most notably, IGN really hammered Destiny, the original one. Meanwhile, if you remember, a lot of people forget this, but when Destiny dropped, it was getting hammered by mainstream media reviews while it was the number one played game across the internet. And so there was this disconnect. A lot of people in places of power and influence really didn't get Destiny at the time. So can't put that one fully on Phil Spencer. It would have been amazing. Can imagine Bungie retains there with that pedigree, what it's able to do. Xbox purposely chose not to make Destiny an Xbox exclusive, which is a little strange considering how well the Halo series did for them. I do agree with that. You trust Bungie. They did it with Halo. They clearly have been able to do it with Destiny. That's not all, though, as Spencer also reveals that Guitar Hero was originally pitched to Xbox, who didn't believe that it was going to work as well as it did. Funnily enough, Guitar Hero is now back at Xbox's stable, so it might be time to change history a bit. He says, I've passed on made some of the worst game choice decision. I'm not a regrets type person. I think that's healthy. I think it's good that he's talking so openly about it. Again, Guitar Hero is one of those ones, if you told me that someone pretending to play guitar would be fun, nobody would believe you at the time. But that's your job as an executive. That's your job as someone that's over Xbox, to have that foresight and to see kind of outside the box and see that things could be big. After bringing up Guitar Hero, Spencer notes that he's made lots of wrong choices when it comes to signing games, some of which have been pointed out by Twitter user Nib95, who shared a video reminding us all that Xbox could have made Genshin Impact, an unnamed Marvel game, and most infamously, Grand Theft Auto 3 as part of its library. Grand Theft Auto 3 would have been huge. That was the first one that really took it out of what it was traditionally. Genshin Impact, also huge. I think in 2024, they jump on a Genshin Impact. I think at the time, it probably didn't fit, in fairness, in time, it didn't fit into their portfolio at all. They weren't really looking at mobile-style games. They weren't really looking at that style of game. It seems like they had really taken a step back last generation, especially from Japan and Japanese markets, and they're just barely getting back into that. So, interesting, nonetheless. I would love to know what you guys think, though. Do you think that a lot of people are trying to say that this proves that Phil Spencer is unfit to lead Xbox. I would just remind everybody that Activision is now owned by Xbox, as is Bethesda, and that's under Phil Spencer's reign. And I think that's a huge move, being able to pull off both of those. What that gives you for your library going forward, what that gives you for first-party titles going forward. And again, people are probably in comments like, Xbox isn't going to have exclusives. Yes, they are. Nobody has said that. The ability to have flexibility with Game Pass and take an Indiana Jones and make it a timed exclusive. I would ask you this, though, by the way, for everybody who says Xbox doesn't care about exclusives, why haven't they made all their other games cross-platform? Why is it that Indiana Jones went cross-platform but not Starfield? Answer me that. Anyone? It's almost as if what they're saying is true, that they're taking games on a case-by-case basis, and games that make sense for them to go multi-platform is exactly what they're doing. And not all games are going multi-platform. And it's almost as if Xbox will have exclusives going forward. Because that argument, everybody, that gamer is trying to make here and that other people are trying to make, like Xbox is out of the exclusives game. No, they're not. They have tons of exclusives that you can only get on Xbox and Game Pass. And that's not changing, and that's not changing anytime soon. But I digress. But there you go. Phil Spencer, let me know what you guys think. Do you think it's fair to hammer him for passing on those? Do you think that these would have made a difference in the Xbox One era? Because that's most of these games came out for Xbox. I do, actually. I think that Destiny could have made a difference. Guitar Hero, I'm less concerned about. But Destiny in particular, Genshin Impact, perhaps. That one's harder because, I mean, it's wildly popular, but the question you have to ask yourself is if it was limited to just Xbox, is it as popular? I don't know that it is. So, anyways, let me know in the comments below. And let's jump over to Stalker and just correct the record because the dev here has corrected the record. Stalker 2 dev corrects that 25 FPS comment, says game is running much better on the Xbox Series S. So, originally he came out last week and said that the game was running at 25 frames per second on the Xbox Series S. A lot of people who seem like they really do have a stake in the Xbox Series S failing, that strategy is foolish. It seems that there's a narrative out there that people stick to and want to be true, so they jump at any chance to make it true when it seems like games are running fine on the Series S from my front. From what I can see. Let's go over this story though here for Pure Xbox. Late last week, a Stalker 2 interview began doing the rounds online where developer GSC excuse me, I have a cold, said that the game was running at 25 frames per second on Xbox Series S right now, while final optimization was still underway. However, the game's lead producer has now come out to correct those comments, saying that the team gave out a completely incorrect figure as a mistake. Taking to Twitter, Slava Lukyanenka, apologies, I know I butchered that, said that, quote, something glitched in my head during the Gamescom interview, and the dev actually meant to say 35 frames per second instead of 25. So here's what he said. Just to clarify my thoughts, I said something during the interview on Gamescom. Yes, that's what I said. However, it seems something glitched in my head during the interview as I wanted to say around 35 frames per second. So here's what WCCF Tech tweeted out. Stalker 2's developers are optimizing the game for Xbox Series S, currently running at 25 frames per second. What he meant to say there was currently running at 35. So, of course, everybody came out and was like, what? It can't even hit 30. This is ridiculous. The Xbox Series S is holding down the Xbox brand and genre. And it turns out that was not true. He just misspoke. I would love to know the behind the scenes of this. I am sure Xbox came out and said, hey, is this correct? And they said, well, no, that's not correct. I would. If I was at Xbox, would you not? And it was incorrect and you knew it was incorrect, would you lean on them? Yeah, I would, to come out and correct that. So I'm not saying that that's what happened necessarily, but it is fun. It is fun to think about what happens behind the scenes here with some of these. Regardless, Stalker 2, I think, is going to be fabulous no matter where you play it, whether that's on the Series S. Keep in mind, this is a highly advanced graphical game on the Unreal Engine. So there's going to be a difference between the Series S and the Series X, absolutely, no doubt. But I'm very excited for this. I never played the first Stalker. Everybody says I would really like it. And everybody that I know that has played it raves about it. So excited to see Stalker and Stalker 2 drop. And just know it looks like that the Series S is going to be fine. The version of the Series S is going to be fine, which is huge as holidays coming up and Christmas is coming up. I think that price point in the global market, as it is, the global economy that is struggling, I think that price point for a gaming console is going to have huge success this Christmas. So it's going to be interesting to see how it does overall. Last but not least, let's take a look at the top paid games over here on the Microsoft Store. Let's actually boost this up so we can see better. And we've got Madden NFL 25. Now, keep in mind, this is the U.S. store. This is that we're looking at here. We've then got College Football 25. I am in love with college football. What's interesting is both are EA Access. You get that discount if you choose to buy them with EA Access. Eventually, my strategy here that I'm implementing personally is I probably won't be buying Madden 25. I did purchase College Football 25. I'm going through Dynasty mode. I'm playing nightly. I'm very much enjoying it. I don't see a need to get Madden 25 until the college football season is over. That college football season runs until February this year. And so by that time, usually Madden drops on EA Plus, which is a part of Game Pass. So I think I'm waiting out Madden 25. I would love to know, for those of you that are into College Football 25, are you implementing that same strategy, or did you go ahead and buy both of them? Very interested to know that. Mafia Trilogy is number 3, and I think this shows the power of Game Pass. Mafia Definitive Edition is on Game Pass right now. I'm playing it. I'm loving it. I would be curious at how much it at least appears that has caused Mafia Trilogy to jump into that third space spot over on the US store. Very interesting. Anytime there's news like that. Now, Kingdom Come Deliverance is only $3.99 right now. And so, of course, that is at spot number 4. If you've never played a Kingdom Come Deliverance, it's incredibly unique. It's one of the most unique, I think, open world RPGs that is out there at the moment. We do know Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is on its way. We've seen previews. We've seen gameplay for it. $3.99 is an absolute steal, a must get, and I'm sure that's why that is at the number 3 spot. You've then got Outlaws. Sorry, you got Alien Isolation Collection, but then you got Outlaws coming in at spot number 6, which to me is fascinating. And rounding out the top 10, you've got obviously Grand Theft Auto Online. Well, let's see, is that top 10? 4, 8, 9, 10 is Subnautica, so 12 comes in at Grand Theft Auto Online. But number 9 is recently released to Xbox. It was exclusive on PlayStation and PC for a hot minute, but it's Lords of the Ring Return to Moria. As I've been watching, I've been going back through the extended editions of Lord of the Rings. It's because Rings of Power is out. I made it halfway through episode 1 of season 2 of Rings of Power. I finished all of season 1 of Rings of Power. Season 2 so far, I had to turn it off. It's that bad. And it's a shame because watching the extended edition, I want to be in the the Lord of the Rings world. I just do. So Return to Moria coming in the top 10, I think is big. The reviews are pretty positive on it. I'm thinking about taking a look at this. It's an IP. I think having an IP with Star Wars up here, I mean, you got Marvel Legos as well. You've also got Aliens. Think about that. So you've got 4 games in the top 10 that are IPs, that are, movie IPs, essentially. They're a big part of gaming at the moment. So I'm curious to try out Return to Moria. I've been watching players stream it. I might jump into it, but that's the top 10 over on US right now. I think Mafia Trilogy is probably the one to highlight in my opinion, because I think it's proof of how you utilize Game Pass to expose all of your games and then have success on the store with it there. Again, with Mafia Definitive Edition on Game Pass, I would imagine drove a lot of people to just get the trilogy, in all honesty. Anyways, that does us for today, everybody. I would love to know, again, please let me know what you guys think in the comments, especially about Phil Spencer missing on some of those games. What would you like to see? Do you think it would have made a difference in the Xbox One era, or would those games just have been less popular? Do you think that criticism against Phil Spencer for missing those is warranted? Do you think he makes up for it by getting Activision Blizzard and Bethesda during his time, what is he, the lead? There's a word I'm looking for. My brain is not working today. During his reign. Oof. Was that the word? I think that was the word. Anyways, I would love to know what you think. I think nobody's going to be perfect, and the CEOs are going to miss on some, and then they're going to nail on some as well. What you hope is that they nail more than they miss. I think Xbox is firing on all cylinders at the moment. I really do. And for everybody in the comments that is going to say, no, you're wrong, the exclusive thing, again, go back and watch the beginning of this video where we go over this narrative that Xbox is out of exclusives is just not correct. So don't buy it. Don't believe it. Correct it when you see it. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this video. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.